Greetings and blessings again. Welcome to the hotspot. It is the afternoon show. It is exactly 3 p.m. where I am. What time is it where you're at? Well, regardless which time zone you're in, it is Man United showtime. Literally, Luke Shaw is back training, and that picture you see on your screen is one of him today as he did attend training at Carrington. Luke Shaw has not been in action since the second game. He last featured in our second game against Spurs. He played against Wolves. I think that's was the opening game of the season. Then against Spurs, 2 games, and since then he has been a no-show because of a muscle injury. Now Luke Shaw is officially back, and the Manchester United website can confirm this. I told you about this yesterday. Some of you believe after seeing, indeed now you will believe that Luke Shaw now is totally back in the squad. But how exactly does his return boost the squad as we build up to this one? We're returning with action that will be on Sunday at Goodison. It is a wounded lion that we are facing in Everton. It's certainly not going to be an easy game. We've had players busy in the international break, and we do hope they return fit. Of course, some of them have not featured because they were injured before it. That is Rasmus Højlund and Christian Eriksen. Højlund, though he's expected to return, but he might not be available for Everton. He could actually be fresh for Galatasaray, but regardless, we've got an injury boost in Luke Shaw, who returns after months on the sideline. He last played in August when the Premier League has just returned. Welcome to the hotspot. My name is Webb, and it is another rare show. It's the afternoon show. I hope you're there in time for it. Let's get it. I know it's lunchtime. I think for most you could be having lunch now, but let me know where you are and where you're tuned in from, because the talk is going to be heavy and mostly defensive about Manchester United today. Welcome again to the hotspot. Now, there's a whole debate that I think I started with my colleagues, because when Luke Shaw returned, I was telling people this is very good news. Now, okay, it's becoming a bit hot. Because I'm happy, I'll put on. Yeah, the sun is about to come up, so I'm just trying to look ahead, just like we're looking ahead to the Everton game. So let me keep this on for a minute. So listen, so I started a debate with my colleagues. They were arguing about Luke Shaw and his abilities, and people were saying that Luke Shaw is overrated. He's not world class, and that's the question I'm posing to you. In your view, is Luke Shaw world class? And I'll give you my opinions about it in a bit. I think people do not exactly appreciate and understand why exactly Luke Shaw has been there since 2014 when he joined United. He has been the first choice left back for as long as he's been fit. Why? Because he's world class. I'll tell you why in the bit, but let me know your opinion about Luke Shaw and his return and what it adds to the team. Now, Manchester United's problems this season have been so many. Of course, we will talk about the boss who has struggled because of injuries. Now, injuries have fettered most of the things that Erik ten Hag was trying to build. He had built a lot of things in the last season, and it was only right that we would expect it to be an improvement. After the new signings we brought in, we expected an improvement on the squad. But I mean, the injuries that I don't even need to mention again have certainly taken away a lot. Now we are beginning to see these players return, but what exactly should we expect to see from them? Wan-Bissaka has returned. Do I think Bissaka is world class? Not yet. And I think United has got to reach a point where we are playing with only world-class players in all positions. But Bissaka is almost there, probably, but he's not there yet. But his return has boosted us a lot because the right back position looks a bit more solid. Now, Luke Shaw returning means this is the likely defense we are going to see against Everton if he's 100% fit to start. That's it. Look at that. So you've got a backline that has got Wan-Bissaka on the left, and I'll put this away for a minute. Just a second, if I can just put this image away like that. Now listen, that's the defense I'm looking at. So, and you can tell me what the center back, because that's where the debate is. Because if Luke Shaw is fit, is obviously the number one in the left back position. Wan-Bissaka obvious on the right. Now the debate would be in the central defense positions in the middle of the defense. Who are going to be the two center backs we are going to be looking at? We've got Victor Lindelof, who played for Sweden for his national team in the international break. We've got Harry Maguire, who has been looking like one of our better improved players. who looks like one of our better improved players. That is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. We've got uh, Rafael Varane, who has returned a bit fit. At least he's available to give us maybe a game or two. Then we have got who else in the center? Johnny Evans is not fit; he's sick. So those are the center backs we have. So obviously, I do expect Rafael Varane to start ahead of Victor Lindelof. So for me, that's the center back. Rather, that's the defensive partnership I expect to see, because Eric Ten Hag always wants to play back four. I don't expect him to play back three, at least not against Everton. But there you go. So you have Harry Maguire, who was almost again making howlers in that game for England. Then you've got Rafael Varane playing on the left of the central defense, and then Luke Shaw on the left and Wan-Bissaka on the right. Worst case scenario maybe would be Luke Shaw coming in as a centre back, and we know the Tinkerman we have in Eric Ten Hag. Luke Shaw plays very well on the left hand side of central defense, by the way. So it's possible that actually Luke Shaw can play centre back, because he has played it so well there before with Rafael Varane, I think. Was it Varane or Victor Lindelof? I remember when Harry Maguire was beginning to was dropped to fifth choice centre back. Luke Shaw played centre back, I think, with my memory wants to let me down. It was either with Lindelof or with Rafael Varane, and on the left we would put there Diogo Dalot or Amrabat, because he has played there before in this case. But I think the obvious thing for Eric Ten Hag to do is to play Harry Maguire, because he has been looking decent. He had improved, I think, in the past games. He deserves to be playing. So Harry Maguire on the right of the central defense, Rafael Varane on the left, Luke Shaw on the left as the left back, and then Wan-Bissaka as the right back. I feel like that is close to solid. I feel like Andrew Onana in goal would have a little bit of confidence in that back line. If that's the back four we had, I feel like that would give Andrew Onana a little bit of confidence as a goalkeeper. And you can tell me your opinions about it. For me, that would be the logical back line for Man United against Everton. All other factors constant. And of course, that is not the long-term partnership I would want to see, obviously. That is not the long-term partnership I would want to see. I would obviously want to see a long-term partnership that looks better and more solid. And this would be it. In the long term, if we do sign, and in Jan, like I told you, it is possible that we can get Jean-Claire Todibo. That's the guy you see with those dreadlocks or what? I think those are short dreads. So if you have Todibo, you have Lisandro Martinez fit, the ideal. Then you've got Luke Shaw on the left and Wan-Bissaka on the right. Or you can have Todibo on the right, because he can play right back, drop Wan-Bissaka, have Lisandro Martinez play with Rafael Varane, and Luke Shaw on the left. All these are options. That's in Jan. Now, that could be for me the ideal in Jan if Todibo came in. Lisandro is an obvious starter. Then you've got on the right, there are debates there. If you've got Todibo in and Varane is still there and he's fit, do you put Varane on the bench and have Todibo play with Lisandro Martinez as the two centre backs? Or do you push out Wan-Bissaka, push Todibo to the right, then have Lisandro Martinez play with Rafael Varane as the two centre backs and Luke Shaw on the left? These are again debates of how United should look in terms of our defense going forward. But this is the ideal. This is a dream one, a dream defense. But let's focus to the realistic one, because we've got a game to focus on. That's the defense that I expect to see against Everton. If Eric Ten Hag doesn't again try to complicate football and try to be so creative and tinker with things and change things around. But the return of Luke Shaw for me is a huge boost to Man United. Why? Because Luke Shaw is a very technical player. What he gives us in terms of balance going forward and coming back is so important and vital because of how we play. Because the way Eric Ten Hag wants to play from the back, you need wingers. You need fullbacks who can cross in the ball, and Luke Shaw is that. Wan-Bissaka on the right is not the best cross of the ball. In fact, I think Diogo Dalot is a better cross of the ball than Wan-Bissaka, I think. But Wan-Bissaka gives us enough defensively because he's a very good tackler. He's a neat tackler, but also a hard worker, and he's organized, he's focused. Diogo Dalot he loses concentration. I think I have reservations about his concentration levels. They are not for an elite player. They are not for a Premier League player. His concentration levels are too bad. He loses concentration, and it's bad for a player at that level. But Wan-Bissaka on the right will give us enough balance in terms of defensively. Going forward, he will try, but his final cross is not good. Luke Shaw on the other side is so solid defensively, but has got a very good cross that many times we've seen him crossing balls to nobody. He's crossing balls, but no one can get to the end of them. So when you've got Rasmus Højlund there and Luke Shaw is in with his crosses, I will tell you, we've got a new dimension of creating goals. And that's what Rasmus Højlund needs. People who can feed him balls. Crosses, minuses or cuttings, 1-2s. That is what Rasmus Højlund needs. And Luke Shaw adds to that in terms of crosses, the dimension we get from the left. But also, one thing I know is that Luke Shaw and Marcus Rashford playing together on that left flank look a little more exciting. They look exciting. They have played together for a long time. So the love affair between the two for me looks good and decent. That I would want to see how it looks with Højlund. Because remember, Luke Shaw, we have not had a chance to see Luke Shaw play in the same team with Rasmus Højlund. We haven't. Injuries have denied us that opportunity. So the return of Luke Shaw is a huge boost. And I do hope that Rasmus Højlund is also 100% fit to play that game against Everton. If both of them can be in the team, I think we'll begin to have a little semblance of our first team. Because Erik ten Hag has not had the chance to play his preferred first team. Okay, it's beginning to get dark. The sun is out. But it's coming back. So in case you think I look bad with this, so sorry. Very soon I'll be putting them back on. So this is just, for a moment. But anyway, so focus on Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw's return is going to make Rasmus Højlund look better. It's going to make Andre Onana look better. It's going to make the central defense look more solid. Harry Maguire will look better because Luke Shaw is firm on the left. He's unorganized as well because of how he passes the ball and his solidity as a defender. So all other players draw their confidence on his presence. He looks small, but he's so physical. He's so strong. So I feel like Luke Shaw's return is going to be a huge boost to everyone. Even Erik ten Hag, the manager, who loves to attack, will now focus more on attacking and forget a bit about the defensive the defensive details because he knows he has got a solid Luke Shaw in there and a decent Wan-Bissaka on the right and maybe a Rafael Varane if he starts. So I feel like Luke Shaw's return should be celebrated by everyone. Now, the people who are questioning his class, of whether he's world class or not, tell me a better left back in the Premier League today than Luke Shaw when he's fit. And that's what I'm waiting for. Tell me, okay, there could be one. You can mention one or two who try. But honestly, for me, if I look at it, looking at all clubs, Man City, Arsenal, look at what are the other clubs there? Spurs. I think Luke Shaw, when he's fit, he's a better left back than any left back in the Premier League. In fact, I think he's one of the best left backs in the world right now. So you can't. The questions of him being world class for me do not make sense. I feel like it's obvious that Luke Shaw is world class. So this is the player we are welcoming back. He's been out for some time, and his return coincides with perhaps what we would see soon before Sunday, the arrival of Sir Jim Ratcliffe. So in terms of energy, both in the boardroom and on the pitch, I think we should be motivated. And as supporters, this is what we need. If the stands, if in the boardroom we are doing good, on the pitch we are having players fit, returning fully fit, I think we supporters just need then in the stands to cheer on and give that 12th man backing that players always need. So I'm so excited about this. I feel like it's good for Man United. I feel like it's going to change a lot about Man United. I feel like it's going to make us look better. It's going to reorganize us. It's going to boost us. It's going to take away some bit of pressure from so many players because Luke Shaw is that character of a player who will carry things, who will carry responsibilities. So in terms of world class, I think there's no debate about that. Luke Shaw is world class and we should be embracing his return. In terms of long term and what United will look like in the long term, with Luke Shaw now back, with players like Todibo coming in through the back door, like I said in my previous video, because I think we could actually get Todibo in Jan because of the new rules that I'm seeming to see and I'm trying to interpret. I think our defensive problems actually could be solved by a mile. Luke Shaw is 28, so he's still there with us. He's in his prime years as a defender or as an outfield player. So bring him to put there Todibo. You've got Wan-Bissaka, he steps up his game. Lisandro Martinez is fit. Then we've got a world-class backline. For me, it makes sense. There are characters. You've got a beast in the butcher, in Lisandro Martinez. You've got a technical Luke Shaw, who is also a work hardy. You've got Wan-Bissaka, who is a good tackler on the right. You've got a world-class goalkeeper in Andrew Onana. Just partner them with a Todibo, who is an emerging world-class centre-back. And then I think we've got a competitive central defense. And if we get that in Jan, I think it's not too late for us to think about top 3 actually. We can push for top 2. And that's why I told you, like Paul Scholes did agree, that Manchester United can still push for top 4. We will still be in the top 4 this season if we do our business right and early. And that early business for me would mean having players fit, that is one, and we're beginning to have that because Luke Shaw is returning. Lisandro Martinez is likely to return early next year as well. Bring in Todibo, and trust me, Man United will have a competitive defense. That defense right there, I believe, can compete with any defense in the world. A defense of Wan-Bissaka, Todibo, Lisandro Martinez, and Luke Shaw, or pull out Wan-Bissaka, put Todibo on the right, because one of the other things he edges all the other defenders we are being linked with is the fact that he can play both as right back and as centre back, I think, equally well. So he can actually come in as a right back and push out Wan-Bissaka. Then you've got Varane playing alongside Lisandro Martinez. And on the left, we have Luke Shaw. The only thing for me, the only issue I have with Varane is his inconsistency with injuries. So I would rather have a long-term solution, a plan without him. And that's why I insist on selling him in Jan. Sell Varane in Jan because he's not going to be there anyway, consistently. So focus on players who will give you decent minutes. So have your Todibo, grow him with Lisandro Martinez as your solid centre-back partnership. And then Luke Shaw on the left. Wan-Bissaka can become world-class. If he's playing around world-class players, he will certainly step his game up and he will consistently prove world-class. So I feel like we are there. We are getting there. They are baby steps, but I think they make sense. I think for me, they make a lot of sense. So Luke Shaw's return, for me, has just changed the whole dimension for Manchester United. Let me know what you think. I just wanted to be here for a few minutes to just give you this news that Luke Shaw is back in training. The image you're seeing there is of him training today. So as we do continue to build back to Everton, I'll be giving you, of course, all the team news, the early team news as it comes. The game is on Sunday, but between now and then, trust me, a lot will happen. I'm sure we'll have got confirmation that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is the new man in charge of football matters at the club. Probably will have confirmation about whether John Mata will leave and follow Richard Arnold or not. I also think we'll have some proper news and clarity about whether Rasmus Højlund will be available for Sunday. Probably we'll get that in the press conference on Friday, the pre-match press conference for Erik ten Hag. We'll also, of course, have news about the other injured players and how long we'll have to wait for them. But for me, I may not care a lot about Casemiro now because I know he'll be out for the rest of the year. I may not care about Tyrell Malaysia. I may not care about Johnny Evans. I think if the other players are fit, we are good enough to go on and beat Everton. This is a stubborn side because they are injured, they are wounded, they have got the sort of vengeance and revenge in them. They are certainly going to be a difficult team. It's never easy to play at Goodison anyway. Merseyside is never easy. But I think we are looking like we've got the players to execute what Erik ten Hag wants to execute. And when we get it right, we can beat any team, even Manchester City or Real Madrid, that are the two best clubs in the world right now. We can beat them. How that is going to happen depends on Erik ten Hag, but at least for me, the boost now is there. And very soon, we will not have excuses of us not having players fit and all that. We will then be a fully complete, solid Man United squad that can take on anyone and beat them. So for me, it's good news either way. That's what I think. Let me know what you think. Hotspot, subscribe. My name is Webb. I just came here to just give you this good news that indeed Luke Shaw is training at Carrington. Well, we missed him, didn't we? Hotspot, subscribe. My name is Webb. I'll catch you later, fam. Follow all the videos as I do keep dropping them. It's lunchtime, guys. Let me go have lunch myself. So enjoy yourself. Catch you later.